What's up with you guys? Welcome back to another reaction video. I'm Inde.
I'm Ollie.
And today we're reacting to why honey badgers don't fear God or lions. You know what a honey badger is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hear they're vicious.
They're crazy.
So they may look cute.
When I was a kid, I low-key
they might be ugly, of course.
I wanted a pet honey badger.
Yeah.
I don't know why, bro. I was just weird like that.
I think I'd rather have a pet skunk than a honey badger.
Skunk?
They kind of look alike. But skunks are nicer.
These fucking stink.
Well, yeah. That's why you don't make them mad.
That's hard to do.
I don't know. But at least they won't tear your face out while you're sleeping.
But imagine living with something that, like, you have to really watch what you say or do or they're gonna fucking shit on you. Okay,
but what about that? The honey badger? It'd be the same thing, but except they'd be attacking you.
Just give it snacks.
No, they're scary. Fuck that.
Well, look. See, she's trying to skip over y'all. I'm trying to check in with y'all. But look, I hope all y'all that's watching this video is taking care of yourselves. Let's get into the video. Crazy. Wait, what? What? Oh my gosh.
Scary.
Honey badgers are the most disrespectful force in nature, and that's putting them over orcas. Because at least when an orca shot puts a seal, you can argue it's just testing a new hunting strategy. But honey badgers will look for negativity in situations where they have nothing to gain. Why would a honey badger test an oryx 10 times its size, get launched only to immediately do it again? Because honey badgers come into the world deciding they don't want peace, they want problems. They don't want compromise, they seek conflict. If orcas are homicidal sea Oreos, then honey badgers are double stuffed with audacity. If I ever make a list of the top 5 animals with black Air Force energy, honey badgers would be a first ballot choice. But like any kid that acts out in school, to really understand just what makes a honey badger such a one-man hate campaign, you gotta look at its family. When you talk about mammalian carnivores, you can really simplify it into 2 classes, Team Cat and Team Dog. Team Cat would be feliform, which translates to cat-like carnivores, which would obviously include wild cats, but also cats that aren't really cats like hyenas, mongooses like the meerkat, and a bunch of other animals you've probably never heard of.
Oh shit.
On the other side is Caniformia, which are the dog-like carnivores. This includes dogs, wild, unhinged dogs, dogs on steroids, smaller but more street-smart dogs, and a special group of water dogs that decided they had enough of the nonsense and disrespect of the dirt world and were gonna take their chances out in the ocean. Results
I love cats, bro.
Have been varied.
Water dogs.
But you also have another family known as the Mastille Day Squad, and they were kind of in a weird spot. They weren't the biggest, definitely weren't the fastest, not the smartest, and for the most part they're solitary, meaning they rarely have a numbers advantage. So their only real option was to overcompensate the way anyone that overmatched would, with violence and borderline crackhead courage. If mustelid like honey badgers ran in groups, they probably wouldn't need the personality of a power tool to survive. Because gang violence may be unethical, but in the wild, it's a way of life. It's the reason African wild dogs are one of the most efficient groups at canceling life subscriptions.
Yo, I didn't know this, but African wild dogs are crazy as fuck. I think they have, like, hunting. I think they have like a 90 or 99 like
success rate.
Yes, on like that shit. Like if they want you, bro, they gonna get you, bro. That's fucking nuts.
That's scary.
Dude. No, that's crazy.
Because team play is high-key underrated. Ants are probably the best new social insects in the game, and it's almost scary how well they work together. Led by a queen who can almost check in at the same weight class as a mouse, ant society is built on a hierarchy where everyone has a job.
I didn't know that.
Wait, what did he just say?
I didn't know ants.
I
did not know the queen ant looked like that.
Yeah,
wait, I've seen a queen ant before.
Where?
She looked smaller, like this. But
this is like jungle type shit, though.
Yeah, jungles are different.
Yeah.
No.
Led by a queen who can almost check in at the same weight class as a mouse, ant society is built on a hierarchy where everyone has a job. Female ants are workers who can have tasks such as cleaning the eggs and
how does the queen get that
big?
Queen
ants' job is to supply the ant census with new bodies by constantly spawning eggs, and some species can spit out over 800 in one day. Male ants have one job, and it's to supply the queen with baby batter and then exit the census once they fulfill that purpose. They have no rights, no free will, they're basically walking ejac packets. And if you ever wanted to know just what ant society is like, the Ants Underground Kingdom is a simulation strategy game with millions of players already on.
Did he just slip it add into here? Oh my god.
Why do I want to play it though?
Including like the banshee ant.
What a genius.
An actual insect that isn't really an ant, it's a type of wasp. You can also unlock new buildings like
And the ad is
fungi,
still going.
pearl, special nests, and more.
That was a good way to put it.
The ant armada includes
Do you
guardian
actually want to play this?
shooter ants, and carrier ants. Plus, you can call on reinforcements in the form of scorpions and spiders.
If I catch you playing this, I'm gonna suplex you through the floor.
With ants. PvE wise, you can run with jumping spiders, giant mantis.
I get the cat game.
You can choose what alliances you want to join.
But you're playing a level. You're trying to get a level 20.
And mercilessly backstab them at every turn because there's no church in the wild and hell is
not. You gonna fall
possible.
asleep playing this.
Make sure you download the Ants Underground Kingdom. And use the redemption code to cash in on a bunch of benefits the game is offering just in time for the holidays.
Are you serious?
Your army is the strongest one. But if you're a honey badger, the strongest army is always an army of one.
You're crazy.
Honey badgers could be the mascots of Miralax because they don't ever give them, they just take them. And when I say it runs in a family, you can tell the honey badger took something from all of their cousins and made it theirs. We're gonna get to those cousins, don't worry. But first we gotta talk about what makes honey badgers such a middle finger to the natural order. First is the fact that they're not indestructible, but damn it, they're pretty close.
Damn.
Honey badger skin is tough and resilient, able to withstand bee stings, snake bites, and brutal maulings that would certainly be a game over for other animals. You can even come at a honey badger with a machete, and it could still probably Eurostep any serious injury. There's even reports of these steroid skunks taking down African crested porcupines. The same ones that have about 30,000 good reasons why testing them could be really bad for your health. In really rare occasions, porcupines have crippled the top-tier lions so badly that hunting humans was their only option. In 1965, after a lion nicknamed the man-eater of dark, hunt for your health. In really rare occasions, porcupines have crippled the top-tier lions so badly that hunting humans was their only option. In 1965, after a lion nicknamed the man-eater of Darajani was finally put out of commission, it was discovered that it had been gored by a blade beaver, with one of the quills being lodged in its fractured teeth and another one nearly piercing its brain. Maimed and out of options, a starving lion put at least one.
I didn't know porcupines were
That's the kind of carnage porcupines are capable of, yet honey badgers can often survive an encounter with one thanks to their tough skin. The same reason they can square up with snakes and then live to try again. Honey badgers are menaces that have been known to turn deadly serpents like the puff adder and even the black mamba into a purse. Common misconception though is that honey badgers are immune to snake venom. They're not immune, they're much more resistant than other animals, but enough penetrating bites can flatline even a honey badger. But usually if a honey badger is wounded by a venomous snake, it'll just pass out in an almost coma-like state, only to get up a few hours later and walk it off like a Sunday morning.
What?
Another fact is that not only is honey badger skin tough, it's incredibly loose, especially around the neck. So if one's ever being mauled by a big cat, this walking cigar can turn around while being attacked and deliver smoke directly to the face. Damn. Honey badgers are furry duracells, and anything short of a round directly to the skull isn't guaranteed to kill them. This durability is why honey badgers are either brave enough or stupid enough to blatantly steal from top predators, and they usually target leopards. Unlike lions and hyenas, leopards are solitary assassins that hide their prize.
You got a giraffe up there?
The food may be safe from lions, but they're not
safe from the
malicious party symbol with nothing.
What the heck?
Honey badgers will risk it all by attempting to steal from the leopard by climbing the tree once it steps away from its meal. If the honey badger gets caught in the act, it'll throw a loud temper tantrum, hissing and screaming as it backs away. A method I'm sure they got from their close cousin, the wolverine. The wolverine is a honey badger on PEDs.
Wolverine is a real animal?
Yeah.
Even though they're roughly in the same weight class as a medium-sized dog, tankier predators like bears and mountain lions will occasionally pay food taxes to this walking vibe check.
Damn.
But the thing with wolverines is, they have the strength and speed to catch their own bodies. Wolverines will stalk a potential victim for hours, even days, and there have been reports of wolverines posting up in trees just so they can wait for the right moment to pass.
That's crazy.
But why waste the energy or calories doing that?
Where are these animals at?
Or clutch a 2v1 versus wolves. And just like the honey badger, wolverines will attack anything with a pulse. Difference is they have the tools to actually stop it.
Stalking for
days? Put a polar bear in a headline after clamping its vice grip jaws around a struggling bear.
He killed a polar. Bro, polar bears are like, they're the strongest bears. Wait, what? That's crazy as fuck, dude.
There have even been reports of a wolverine dropping a female moose by ripping at its shoulder blades until it eventually tapped out. In comparison, honey badgers have allegedly KO'd units like the Cape buffalo and water buck. Except the honey badger's methods are different. Wolverines are little man syndrome but with bear trap jaws. Even though they might not have superhuman healing powers, they do have rotated teeth. Wolverines are equipped with upper molars rotating meaning they can easily eat a grizzly bear's leftovers even if it's half frozen. That doesn't is why a wolverine will eat every part of an animal right down to the bones. Honey badgers don't have nearly that kind of power, but these prison-striped weasels do pack a nasty bite and they've been seen tearing into tortoises. Wolverines have one more secret, and it's that they smell really, really foul. Not only will they use the power of liquid booty as a threat, they'll spray the scent over any food they find to make sure
They're
no
like
one else touches
skunks.
it. Which is why the Wolverine is also nicknamed the skunk bear.
That's
Honey
nasty.
badgers also weaponize their south side. When threatened or just annoyed, the honey badger will reverse its anus inside out and release a liquid so vile it can suffocate anything near it.
Nigga, what?
It's so offensive it can temporarily paralyze attacking bees. It's not hard to see how the skunk bear and the felony ferret pull up to the same family.
That's nasty,
But
bro.
you can
That's
also
sick.
the otter to the same.
And I wanted this as a pet. What was I thinking? I was gonna get, bro. What? I was gonna have to end up killing it.
I bet the last one is a skunk.
Yeah, it has to be.
Otters are considered the most intelligent
An otter?
of all mustelids, and they're a part of the rare group of animals
Okay,
that are
otters
able
are
to
cute,
create
though.
and use tools. This one,
I hope you don't
this
change
one's
my
using
mind about
venom.
this.
In
Right?
fact, they're so smart that in the 60s, the CIA allegedly tried to weaponize them. I actually made a video on this in an otter report that was created on my TikTok, so definitely go check that out.
CIA tried to
They're
get
also an
otters.
anomaly in that they're one of the rare social mustelids, which should give you mixed feelings. Because yes, sea otters will hold hands while sleeping so they don't float away. Despite the lack of emotion, I find that adorable. But otters, especially river otters, will jump anything that enters their territory, from caiman to jaguars to idiots with iPhones. If you want your idea of otters to be completely slaughtered in 10 seconds, Google otter and attack and count how many articles you get. A pack
No.
of 20 nearly took a man off the Singapore census permanently. A group of rogue otters drowned a
Did you
woman's
hear that?
beloved dog as she could only watch.
What?
Once upon a time, a monkey. Count how many articles. If you want your idea of otters to be completely slaughtered in 10 seconds, Google otter and attack and count how many articles you get. A pack of 20 nearly took a man off the Singapore census permanently. A group of rogue otters drowned a woman's beloved dog as she could only watch.
That's
Once upon a
crazy.
time, a monkey wandered into the otter hood of the Bronx Zoo, and the outnumbered monkey paid the toll for his transgressions with his soul. That's really only scratching the surface. I already have an entire video dedicated to
They
the
look
kind of
crazy
society
right
that otters
there.
get away with, but one fact should really hammer the point home. Sea otters have a violent mating ritual that involves biting his partner's nose pad so hard that he can tear it off while occasionally holding her head underwater. That is not the disturbing part, because frustrated male otters that couldn't find a mate will resort to taking their lack of options out on baby seals.
Oh my
Something they'll
God.
continue to do for up to a week, even after the seal's soul has already evacuated. I mean that in the worst possible way. So in a
Dude,
weird
what
twist,
the-
these three otters might have the lowest morality, but to compensate, they have the highest
I don't
intelligence.
like otters.
They'll think honey badgers are just some crayon eaters. They're incredibly smart too. Like the kind of smart that would make them high-class criminals.
That's
In an
crazy.
experiment, a honey badger couldn't reach a box of food that was hanging from a branch of a tree. But what would have been a dead end for most animals was only a challenge for him. After a few seconds to carefully weigh his options, the honey badger proceeded to push his crate closer to the hanging box, to the point where he could stand on it to claim his prize. It might not seem like much, but being able to figure this out automatically puts honey badgers in the highest percentile when it comes to animal intelligence. But the best example would be this little guy named Stoffel. Stoffel was a well-known escape artist that would find some of the most creative ways
Why does he
to
have a shuffle?
In one of his many escapes, Stoffel noticed a broom that had been left near him, dragged it over to one of the corners of his enclosure,
What?
leaned it against the wall, and then used it to emancipate himself.
No
They tested
way.
his skills with a gate, and Stoffel the Black Air Force managed to undo the latches of the lock. They then put him in a
that's
cell surrounded by
crazy.
cement walls. Take a wild guess what this little weasel did. Stoffel dug up a bunch of rocks, and when he had enough, he piled them in a corner and Andy Dufresne himself. One night, his caretaker awoke to a burglar in his home at 1 a.m. You know where I'm going with this. Stoffel escaped again, only this time he broke into the farmer's house and even tried to get into his bedroom. And you want
What?
to know the most disrespectful part of it all? Stoffel was hand-raised by humans at a young age and imprinted on them. Meaning Stoffel had no intention of actually escaping. Nah, he was just doing it for the sport and for all the memes. And we
That's-
know that because Stoffel would allow himself to be caught and returned back to his enclosure just so he could figure out another way to make his caretakers earn their pay. Breaking into the
What?
farmer's house past midnight was just grade A trolling. And of course, it would be criminal to not mention that time Stoffel escaped his enclosure and entered the lion's den where he was nearly brutally mauled to death.
Oh,
After he
shit.
recovered, the first thing Stoffel did fresh out was try to find a way back to the lions to settle the score. Stoffel would also regularly break into the lodge
He's
kitchen where he would
crazy.
harass staff and
What?
help himself to any food he could find. They eventually gave him a lady badger thinking that would help him calm down. What they really did was introduce the Bonnie to his Clyde as they would now try to escape together. For their size, honey badgers have relatively large brains and they make it everyone's problem. But there's one more thing about them that really makes them a menace to society, and for that you have to look at its third cousin, the stoat. The stoat is one of the smallest of all mustelids, yet they regularly
cute.
put prey
Did you just
10
kill a
times their
bunny?
size out of commission.
A
They do
rabbit?
this by relentlessly chasing their prey, which are usually rabbits, until the prey eventually drops to exhaustion. Only then will the stoat deliver a devastating bite to the back of the skull. And once a stoat locks in on its target, there isn't a force in nature that can stop it.
That's
The
crazy.
stoat is so hyper-fixated that it'll even ignore rabbits that might be closer just so they can commit to pursuing its original target.
Dude,
That
what?
kind of
What?
determination is not foreign to the honey badger. The only way a honey badger can fend off leopards, hyenas, and even the occasional lion is by constantly squirming, hissing, and biting until the attacker eventually decides it's not worth the calories. Even if they eventually do go out of commission, you can be sure the honey badger did not go quietly. The badger's stubborn nature is probably best summed up when you see what they do for honey. Honey badgers love breaking into beehives to eat energy-rich honeycombs. Unfortunately, that often means getting a face full of African bees, which are more aggressive and more nasty than their European cousins.
Damn.
But these honey weasels will continue to eat even while being actively swarmed and attacked by bees. And even though they're resistant, they're not 100% immune to bee stings. Honey badgers have been known to keep raiding the same beehive for honey until they eventually get stung to death. But honey badgers don't care, they live life balls first with no fear of consequences. This willpower is how 2 honey badgers stepped to 6 young lionesses and still managed to survive. At one point, the honey badger found itself in the jaws of death, only to use its loose skin to turn around and bite the lion back.
Holy fuck.
This leopard tried harassing a young baby badger, only to end up cosplaying as a cheetah once mama badger inserted herself into the conversation. Speaking of cheetahs, honey badgers have such a reputation that it's widely believed that cheetah cubs evolved to mimic their coloring to avoid confrontation with predators. A whole predatory cat, and evolution forced them to impersonate an African bush weasel just to get more respect. Hell for cheetahs, but another notch on a honey badger's chastity belt.
The babies,
I say chastity
crazy.
because they don't give a f. With the strength and durability of a wolverine, the intelligence and morale deficit of an otter, the pure coke-fueled willpower of the stoat, the honey badger's the only thing alive that can make a bull cut intimidating. And that's gonna do it for this video, which was by far one of my most fun to make. If you want to support this channel, my Patreon's gonna be in the description.
Okay.
Also, like the video or suffer a honey badger vasectomy. Other than that, drink water, hug your parents, happy holidays, and see you in the next one.
I'm glad those things aren't like
What? In California?
walking around outside.
A honey badger.
We would have a problem.
If we had honey badgers just walking around outside like stray dogs, we would have to stay strapped 24/7. Like we would have to go everywhere with a pistol, everywhere. Because if we see a bat, imagine going outside to dump your trash.
It's just the way they don't quit. They just want to fuck with you.
Bro, you just go outside to dump your trash and you looking at a badger. Dude, that's a terrible
bigger
life.
problem than bears, huh?
Than bear? Yeah, because bears you can kind of like type shit and they'll run off. Badgers, bro, they want all the smoke. They're like, come here, let's do this. It's fucked up. But look, that's the video, y'all. Let us know what else you guys want us to react to. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new. We'll catch you on the next video.